All right. Before we start with the topics, I do have a question, right? And I'm gonna start it off by saying, looking and thinking about the opposite sex. Give me 2 words. The first 2 words that come to mind.
Oof.
Is that scary out here?
No.
Just thinking and looking.
I'm just thinking.
Hold on.
I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna say femininity and beauty.
Okay.
Okay,
here we go. I'm gonna say strong.
Okay.
And
shit, y'all.
Leader?
Oh, I was just gonna say that. Mine is masculinity and leadership. That's what I usually look for.
Okay.
Or what do we look for? How
or
do
just
we
when
think?
The first 2 words that come to your mind when you think of a woman.
Chaos and creation.
Okay. Shit sound honest as fuck. What about you, Ace?
Talk about it.
I'm going to say elegance and beauty.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna front. Ladies, I don't know, look like y'all don't got nothing good to say about us, but I'm gonna keep it real. But
wait,
I'm just
get there. Yo, you jump.
All right, let me get to the topics. You know what I'm saying? I am instigating, but all right. What impact has Western society has on the global dating life?
You know, I when that question was sent, I had to look up a couple of things because I knew this conversation happened years before this even taking place right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very different now. I think Western dating scene is more of hookup society.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that's traveling to other parts of the world. And honestly, I don't like hookup. So I don't like hookup dating. I don't like casual sex. So it's like, I think that's the negative part of it. But I think the positive part of it is that you have access to other people, right? So before, you just had whoever was around in town, right? If you're from a small town, it's whoever's around in town. Now, you can go to the next town, or you can go to like 2 towns over.
Why?
You know?
Why is that positive?
I think that's positive. You know,
That shit sound crazy.
I'm asking why you think.
Yeah, I think it's positive because what if your town is small? What if you don't have a lot of men in your town or a lot of women in your town? Now you get to go out and meet different other people. That's just my ticket. And you can even take it to like, even in the United States, the small towns around in the country, like those remote areas like South Dakota, you know? If they don't have a dating app, they're only dating the people who they grew up with, right? You don't think that it's better that they have the option of meeting other people?
Nah, I think they got the recipe for success. Staying in that small ass. You coming out here, they just going around fucking. I don't know. So.
Or you getting fluked out to get fucked. So,
Touché.
I mean.
What about you?
I agree. I'm half and half on that.
So elaborate with us.
For me, it's more or less like I wasn't born here. So growing up back home, I was born in Ghana. So over there, it's like traditions are a little different from traditions here. So growing up, it's like I still grew up in an African home, but you know, outside in school, you're learning a whole different ball game. And then when it came to dating, mostly everybody in my family married, settled down. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. Like it's taking me a second to get there because whatever I'm used to dating, like she's saying, it's just a plethora. You know, it's not saying it's hard to choose from, but
even though we have the options, I don't think all the options are great out there. Because
not great.
We think we have options, but we really don't have options out there. Like
that's
this
where
pool
now
is very small. You have a vast pool, but then it's also like slim pickings too at the same time.
I want to ask you, how has it changed from, I guess,
like
that time to like now, modern day?
So for me, I like left Ghana when I was 8. So everything that I know from maybe seeing family members and even my own like parents and their relationship is like, I'm just so used to a man just like controlling everything, right? From like top to bottom. Whereas here it's like women kind of have a say so in some sense, but not really, because then the lines get a little blurred. So,
do you think the women now, like the modern women in Ghana, probably is different?
Very different, because even if when I went back home, like my family members looking at me like, what's wrong with you? Like, why you not married yet? With like, what's going on?
Still the same.
It's still the same over there, where it's like, well, then again, it's like certain culture, like I guess you could say like cultures and tribes still follow certain traditions. So it's like you can't really stray too much, but as they like to say, I'm American. So.
All right, real quick. Does that pressure makes you want to get married sooner or avoid getting married?
Maybe when I was a bit younger, there was a little bit of pressure because I'm like the oldest out of like, let's say like the 90s kids, all, like the oldest one. So it's like everyone after me basically got kids or they're married or stuff. So it's kind of almost like, it's not pressure. It was pressure back then, but now I'm like, listen, when it happened, it happened. I'm not really like rushing too much, but I guess for my dad, I'm the only like kid for him. So I guess he's kind of like, he's like, oh, what's up? You know, so it's kind of that.
I think when you get older, especially for me at least, as a woman, like I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm starting to think more about marriage and kids because like I'm on this clock.
That's the problem.
And it's like clock. The older I get, the more chances I run into having like a terrible pregnancy.
Right.
And I don't want that.
Right.
And so it's like, as I'm getting older, I'm thinking, okay, I'm dating, right? But I'm like, I want that person I'm dating. We need to be on the next step. Now, not like a lot of pressure.
You're dating with intent instead of just
yeah, just making sure that like, okay, I'm doing this with a purpose because I don't have time to be playing around with people. I don't.
At what age you think that pressure starts to hit?
30.
30. Okay.
Ooh,
30.
really? Maybe because of my family. I was feeling that at like 25 and I was like, y'all gotta chill.
Shout out to them.
Super early.
What about you, bro? What you think?
I think we don't want as many options as we think we do.
We don't.
We don't know.
So I work in UX design, and there's something called analysis paralysis, where if you have too many options, you'll make none. So I think what's happening, you know, with dating apps and you can go to different cities and things like that, it's like, because you always think there's a better dude or a better woman, you don't necessarily show up with your best self to what's available to you. Because you're always holding out for whatever is better. So it's a catch-22 because I'm also from West Africa, so you don't have as many options, and you think having more options makes your life better, but it kind of isn't. I think we need to focus on like making the best of the options that are available and not always thinking the grass is greener on the other side.
No, that ass. Yeah.
You being a man from like an African family, right? What would you say about like, or what would your family say about you bringing like a regular American woman?
Well, my daughter's mom is American.
Okay, and how does that?
Basically American.
Yeah. Man, this is a deep question. Only because, like we were talking about downstairs about jollof rice. I'm honest.
Yeah.
Most African parents, if we're being honest, if we want to go there, they would actually prefer you bring home a white person.
What?
African-American.
Oh, rather than African American? I could believe that.
What?
Actually, you know, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I got a couple of uncles.
That's
who are white.
not
Yeah.
fucking
It's messed up because like we talk about like Uncle Tom's and racism and what it did to African Americans, but colonialism did a number on Africans. So a lot of Africans, they default to thinking white people are
Superior.
So it's more
Definitely.
colonialism over there. Yeah, that's
so
the
much
problem.
more.
Yeah.
So like it goes from white people to Asians or Hispanic and then black people.
Damn, we not even in the top
Do-
3?
Nope.
Come on.
Do you think?
Damn.
And
Do you
then it
think-
started breaking down.
Fortunately. Yeah.
Do you think that's because of how African Americans are portrayed like on TVs and like movies and stuff like that?
Well, so America's number one export is entertainment.
Entertainment.
So like what they see is the basketball and the rappers and the movie stars. But also, I would say, to put it on us a little bit, we don't focus as much on cultural education as y'all might think. Like a lot of Africans know our culture as far as our food and our clothes and things like that, but we don't necessarily know the context. So we don't consider y'all's context. Right? So we don't think about Jim Crow, or we don't think about, you know, post-traumatic slave syndrome. We don't think about that stuff. So we just look at it kind of like how Asian people look at it. Why are those niggas acting the way that they do?
Right.
But even though we have a kind of similar story, we don't make that same connection that, oh, this happened to them, then this happened to them, then this happened to them, and it's still happening. So that's why we have that same kind of mindset.
What about you, Ace? What do you think about
What was the question again?
how's Western society?
We traveled a little bit.
But how has Western society affected the dating culture?
Oh yeah, right. Like we say on the show all the time, man. the Western culture, the Western influence is vast. Like I think it's the biggest influence in the world, honestly. You know what I mean? So like you said, the biggest export is entertainment. So people are taking this in and mimicking it every day. So no matter where you go, you're gonna see a piece of the civilization in that culture. You know what I mean? So I think it has a big impact no matter where you go, honestly. Like, yeah.
I just want to, and look, I hate to point fingers, but this one, I could say that the biggest change is from like women getting so much power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, your head is turning, but
No, because like
because look,
I knew it was going to the gender wars. I knew it was coming.
Look, but we got to be honest, right?
So I'm gonna hear you out. So
I'm just saying,
trying to make the connection.
In the dating culture, right? Yeah. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, men stay the same. We chase pussy. We spend money. You get like I'm just saying we're the same. We go home.
Of course.
Some men have multiple women.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Some men stay in the house with their wives, but predominantly like it's just one set. That's it. You go to work. You chase pussy. I would say that, right, in the dating culture. Women have changed from having this self-respect for themselves to just fucking or giving the pussy up or having, a lot of babies from different people. Let's be realistic, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's changing because like I'm even speaking to you, you said it didn't change much out there. Mm-hmm. I do think that influence will be a horrible reaction globally. If everybody had that mindset to say, hey, we out here, I don't know. Y'all could correct me if I'm wrong.
50-50 on that, man.
Yeah,
because like,
just really quickly, I just want to speak on the having kids with multiple men. Mm-hmm. It takes two to have kids.
It does.
So if this is a woman that you see and they already have like a baby father or whatever, why, as a man, right? Why are you still like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna shoot the club up too?
No, you're right, and I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is, women give the access to life, right?
Right.
And whether a man doesn't want that kid or not, the woman ultimately makes that decision, right? And I'm not even going to end it there, right? I don't remember the exact percentage, but women are having children with the same small percentage of group of men. Mm-hmm. So I believe there's more men that doesn't have children than the men that do have children.
That's true.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So and that goes back to like even the Umar shit. It's a poor selection. So you picking, you having a baby with a nigga just because you're trying to tie him down, or he not the right one, or hoping rather than vetting out a good man to build a family with. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So. And maybe I'm wrong for putting this higher standard on women because of what the image of a woman was like, I guess, past tense. Yeah. Which may be wrong of me. And I would apologize for that. But I'm just saying in society, now the access to a woman is so easy. I think that's a problem.
With more power comes more responsibility. That's how it always goes. You know what I mean? They control the access to sex and to pregnancy and having babies and all that. So if you got that power, you're gonna be held more responsible.
But that's why I was 50-50 on it, because I think the big difference with Western women is they're just more honest.
There you go.
Right.
That was literally what I was gonna say.
In West Africa, for instance, there are a lot of kids who they think is their daddy isn't actually their daddy.
That shit out here too. Yeah.
They don't have the technology to do the DNA test and stuff like that. But I do think
that's crazy.
Yeah, no, the shit happens. But I do think like, what we can do is encourage women to be more honest about their preferences. Because like you talked about, like 54% of men don't have kids. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily...
You don't think they're being honest?
I was just going to say, we are, and we getting bashed for it from some men, so I don't know.
Back in the day, it was one dude had a whole bunch of wives, and that's what it was. Women always gravitate to a small group of men.
Right.
It's just now they won't admit it, right? They are polygamous, but they won't call it that. They'll rather say, oh, he's my boyfriend, knowing that he got 3 other women.
Oh, okay.
Versus back in the day, like, yeah, no,
No,
so
I'm
and so, he got money, he got clout in the community, he's got 5 wives. That's what it is. Powerful men have never had just one woman.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays we have to pretend that that's who we are.
The crazy thing I don't think you're diving into is that the fact that even though all this stuff was happening, it was still a sense of respect of, you know, not just having babies with everybody.
Yeah.
I think this shit is like spreading like COVID. You know what I'm saying? Every time you look at somebody.
That's the thing. They're not having babies with anybody. They still having babies with a select group of men. It's just that selection isn't based on quality anymore. Back then, it used to be,
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's just the way that they're vetting men these days. It seems
They're not.
They still
I
are,
love
but
how they're
it's
talking
based,
like there's no
it's
one in
based
the room. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting.
It's based on the wrong curriculum.
Yeah.
Like back then, it was his social standing. It was his projection in life, his economic value. If he was royalty, whatever the case may be. Now it's, oh, he the local drug dealer. Oh, he tall. He got potential. All kinds of bullshit. So that's the problem. It's not that a select group of men are having access. That's not new. It's who those select group of men are, because unfortunately, what I've been telling women is who you incentivize the procreation is who you're going to see more of.
But in that honesty that you called it, right? I don't think it's honesty. Some of it is just like following the trend.
No, I'm saying honesty compared to like women overseas.
Right.
Like, just being unabashedly, I'm a hoe and I'm proud and shit like that. That's what I'm talking about.
But that's follow. I don't take that as. I just I can't take that as
saying
honesty.
that the women on overseas want to.
I'm saying that.
Or they do. Oh, they do. But they just. Oh, okay.
And I'm not just saying the women overseas. I'm saying our grandmas too.
Yeah,
I agree 1,000%.
My grandmother on my mom's side had a child with someone else, but we called him Willie Jr. because, you know, we didn't want him to know that like that wasn't his father. So it's like it happens, not just in like Africa. It happens in. Talk to your grandmothers if they're still alive.
If
Talk to your grandmothers. Talk to them.
I understand.
Family secrets run deep. I have aunts that had fucked each other's husbands.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like.
And that's why, like, when some dudes, especially like in the manosphere, they talk about the good old days. I'm like, man, y'all niggas weren't paying attention.
That's a fact.
It's not what you think it was. Like,
it really wasn't.
yeah, we talk about how grandpa, he got a kid in Vietnam somewhere. Your brother is your half brother, but you don't know that.
Right.
No, that's true.
And they're not
He
going
came
to
back
say
from
it.
Vietnam. He had a kid that he didn't leave like in her belly when he left.
Right.
We don't talk about those things.
Nope.